Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us across the fence. I'm Fran Stoddard. Reports about farms and agriculture businesses have always been a big part of this program, but I'm safe in saying that you'll never hear a story about a farm like the one you're going to learn about today. The story started a couple of years ago when a farmer in Chittenden County decided to host a dinner to say thank you for all the support the farm received from its customers and community. The dinner was called a gratitude feast. It was open to everyone, and there was no charge for the food. The feast, the farmer said, was a gift. And it was a success, which got the farmer thinking about how to take this gift-giving business further. Keith Silva offers up this story.
There's something happening in Huntington, and it's being offered as a gift.
2 soups?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
It's hard to explain it. Experiencing it is much more effective, I think, in understanding it.
I mean, Swiss chard is a little bit.
Adam Wilson operates Brush Brook Community Farm.
But,
He's a farmer and a baker. In April of 2020, he decided he didn't want to sell the bread he made. Instead, he'd give it away.
Where to start? So I was farming for business and decided I didn't want to grow food to sell anymore. Didn't know what that would look like. The bakery was paying all the bills for the farm, and I just took that out.
Every Friday since June, Wilson and a small group of farm staff and volunteers give out bread and soup to anyone who stops by the farm. There's no charge for the food, but it's not free.
The food is definitely not free. It's a gift, and for us that's really different. That things that are free, the value's been stripped away from them. Often we perceive them as valueless. When something's a gift, it's given in a way that involves a lot of care usually and denotes a certain quality of relationship. And so that's why we say the food is offered as a gift. And we say it's offered as a gift to anyone who's hungry for any reason, and we're very intentional about that language.
The thing I like about the bread and soup giveaway is it's for everybody. Nobody has to feel awkward about coming to get it because they might not have enough to eat or something like that.
Polly Allen lives in Huntington. She comes here for the food and for something equally as nourishing.
It's just a way of reconnecting in a society where, our cell phones and our fast-paced living seem to separate us more than they connect us. And this is a way of getting back to our roots. It means a lot to me and connects me with my community.
It's an invitation.
Sherry Packman lives in Starksboro. She sees the food as a first step, the beginning to something bigger.
Yes, there's delicious food that's available that I don't have to say how much. It's an opportunity to deepen relationships with the people that are part of the farm, other people in the community, and with the land, and with what makes a community tick.
This project is a response to the question, how can we be of greatest service? And that's a question that I ask a lot, and that's, I think, a question that drives the folks who are most involved here, is like a really deep desire to be of service in a world that's really hurting right now in so many ways. Come on, mamas!
Wilson's gift giving goes further than bread and soup. He's running his farm business the same way.
We don't own any of the land. It's all based on relationships. In order for this to continue, those relationships have to be healthy. So that's the work. The work is it's relational. It's all relational. It's relational maintenance. And that's, if anything, that I'm the leader in, it's that I do the majority of the relational maintenance. I'm always talking to landowners, stopping by, bringing them bread, talking to people about new fields that we might take on.
And maybe that's a way to run a business, and maybe that's not a way to run a business. You're finding that out, I suppose.
Right. We're experimenting with that by explicitly not having a business, right?
Wilson may be coy about his business, but he's not trying to hide anything. He posts the farm's monthly budget on his website and sends it to supporters in a weekly newsletter.
If the budget's not met, then we'll, as a group, figure out what that means. Whether just some of us on the farm team put in some personal money to keep it going for another month, not take our little stipends that are included in that, or whatever it is. I guess that's what I mean by no plan. Who knows what winter's gonna look like here, and what people's willingness is gonna be to go out of their way to stop here to get food. We have a budget which is related to things which we have not yet figured out how to demonetize. Does that make sense? So we still are buying things like minerals and salt to feed the animals. We probably will for quite a long time. At some point, maybe we will not need to do that.
The way Wilson runs his farm is different, but it's not unheard of. Economists refer to it as a gift economy. It goes back to the beginning of human civilization, maybe even earlier than that.
Not only is it legit and has occurred, for the vast majority of human history, a lot of really good scientists think that difficulty of tracking reciprocal exchange in a gift economy was what led us to develop our incredible brain capacity.
Joshua Farley is an agricultural economist in the Department of Community Development and Applied Economics in UVM's College of Agriculture and Life Sciences.
Gift economies are also referred to as reciprocity economies. And for most of human history, we lived in small bands where we kind of knew each other. And there's this myth they tell in economics that we bartered things. But actually anthropologists have found that there was never such thing as a barter economy. Earlier economies were based on those who had enough shared with those who didn't. And we do this all the time. We have, reciprocity and gift economies are what we engage in with our friends, with our families, with those we love. It's a relational situation. And we do it all the time. So it's not foreign to our lives. It's foreign to our understanding of, things like food systems. But we do it a lot with other types of systems. The more we engage in that type of behavior, the more it strengthens it.
If the people who come to Brush Brook Community Farm buy into what Wilson is doing, does that mean a gift economy can be a viable business model?
It all depends on what your goals are for a business. If your goal is to amass ever larger supplies of money and material wealth, it's the worst possible way to run a business. But what really is important for human well-being is those social relationships. So people who are running a farm this way, if they're managing to meet their basic needs and they're developing social relations, each time becomes easier and you can address harder and harder and harder challenges through that anti-fragility of the cooperative reciprocal gift economy.
Evan Hoyt is a recent graduate of UVM's farmer training program. He started working with Wilson this summer as an unpaid member of the farm's management team.
This is only part-time for me. I have other ways of making sure all my other needs are met. This farm plays the role of feeding me, which for me is a huge gift. It also gives a lot of other gifts, like the relationships I've built here and skills and all those great things. But in terms of my physical needs in the world, it's filling the food gap. And that's where some of my money would have gone anyway. So,
at the opposite side of where the food is being distributed stands an odd-looking mailbox. There's a purpose to its placement that fits the farm's philosophy.
We don't have any issue with people who take a loaf of bread and give $5 every week. We position the box on the other side of the parking lot so that it feels less transactional. We don't want people to have necessarily a closed interaction where they show up, they leave, and that's the end of the account. We're trying to build a relationship in a way with people that says, you're not just buying it, we're not just selling it, but at least we have this cue to say that, well, you're actually giving to this farm, which is this bigger thing, and it's your choice how much you're giving. There's no price point that we put by the donation box and say, please put this much in.
Cash gifts are welcome, but Wilson sees them as an intermediate step to building the kinds of relationships he wants the farm to have with this community.
There are people who come to pick up a loaf of bread or a quart of soup, and they've imagined in their mind that that's worth a certain amount. And I'll see checks that are for $22.50 in the gift that people have left as a gift. And if for some people it's transactional, that's okay. It's okay. That's not wrong. It's not what we're asking, but it's how they can enter, and then they start forming relationships. They know other people who are coming to get food here. They get to know people on the farm team. Anyway, things just start to happen.
The cows Wilson raises were gifted by Polly Allen. It's only one of the gifts she's given to the farm. For her, a gift economy goes further than money can buy.
I started bringing my eggs to Adam, and other people bring him things too, and people are just, Huntington's a wonderful community anyway, He's kind of been a catalyst, and I think the community is going to come forth and support him. I'm one who wants to do that as much as I can, and I know there are lots more out there who will. I'm optimistic.
There's a little flyer with just sort of some of the ideas.
Brook Community Farm is powered by relationships. That's the reason why Wilson doesn't like to predict how long he'll keep this up.
I mean, I often tell people I don't think it has a lot of promise. I don't, you know, it's not going to work out because it's not going to look like what we imagined it was going to look like. If that's, you know, in terms of like what the future looks like, it's going to be very different than what we could imagine, because if it's based on relationships, as those relationships emerge and evolve, they're going to shape what the farm looks like. We have continued to give food away now for 6 months, let's say that. And we will continue to give food away as long as we're able to. Let's just say that. What a day.
It's customary not to expect a gift in return when you receive one.
Yeah.
And perhaps that's why Wilson doesn't want to focus on the future. In the meantime, he still has gifts to give. In Huntington, I'm Keith Silva with Across the Fence.
If you'd like to know more about Brush Brook Community Farm, their agricultural mission, or learn how you can help, visit their website, brushbrookcommunityfarm.org. And that's our program for today. Thank you for joining us Across the Fence. I'm Fran Stoddard. Stay well.